Well, the last part of episode 3 took a turn I wasn't expecting. Names being flown everywhere, with one in particular surprising me, as it wasn't one I thought would come up as I sat down to watch this episode. In the first part of the episode, we found out who the next murdered faithful was out of Brittany, Mark and Wiramu, with Wiramu being the unlucky victim. I thought there might be a small possibility of the traitors going after Mark just to ruffle some feathers, but with Mark being heavily voted for at the previous banishment, I can understand why they didn't go after him. I'm not sure if Wiramu was really that much of a big threat, though the fact that he seemed to be well trusted would give the impression that he wouldn't be someone easily banished. With the traitors not picking Brittany to be murdered, Whitney decided she was going to target Brittany for banishment. Whitney started straight out of the gate at breakfast, sowing seeds, and it continued in the car on the way to the mission. Whitney's tactic is very front and centre, though not as much as Jackie. Jane and Mike seem to be playing things the total opposite to Jackie and Whitney. The different styles in play will be interesting to follow as the game goes on, to see who makes it the furthest and if any of the 4 traitors actually wins. Whitney wasn't the only player that decided to make some strategic moves, and it's been really interesting to see, especially when it's a faithful. Mark decided he was going to try and use Jackie's accusations to his advantage. Pulling Jackie to one side, Mark suggested they use the outward perception of them being at odds to sort of form an alliance. I don't know if that was a good idea, regardless of the fact we know Jackie's a traitor. Jackie's gameplay from day one shows that it isn't a good idea, and as we saw, Jackie couldn't wait to tell people about her conversation with Mark, letting Whitney, Molly and Andrew know while they were on their way to the mission that Mark wanted an alliance, while Jackie was also backing Whitney up with her planting more seeds about Brittany. Molly sees through Jackie, even going so far to call Jackie manipulative in her VT. Molly made it very clear to us she doesn't trust Jackie. One thing to say about that mission, some of those choices were debatable and awkward. I didn't think some of the words they put under certain plays were correct, and I've only seen them through edits. Witnessing their choices made me think they were lucky to have left one correct play in the church. I wish we were able to know what labels Wiramu had actually put towards each player. Andrew seems to have adopted a similar tactic to Ben. The difference is Andrew told Jackie he thinks she's his guardian angel in the game because she's a traitor. Can't tell if that was a good idea or not, but one thing I can say is that Andrew shouldn't hedge his bet on Jackie being a traitor for too long, as he's been privy to conversations where others have voiced their suspicions of Jackie. If you've watched my videos covering New Zealand Season 1, then you would have previously heard my comments about players swearing on the lives of family members to prove their innocence. If you haven't seen it, then just know it's on a list of my least favourite things to hear or see. Brittany swore on her children's lives in this episode. The less said about that, the better. Brittany did seem to be having a bit of a hard time, missing family, hearing about the accusations and finding out some of the group thought Wiramu would pick Brittany as being the most arrogant. Joe said he didn't like chaos, and after witnessing a look between Brittany and Molly, he decided to sprinkle a little chaos by going after them. This was despite earlier saying he would defend Brittany. Whitney's plan seemed like it might possibly work as the roundtable started, but then more people kept mentioning Molly, who I didn't think would be a possible name for banishment at the beginning of the episode. I expected a lot more heat on Brianna, given she accused Terry of saying something he denied saying, and that she didn't remember who had told her. Then the way she was responding to Donna definitely raised my eyebrows, but didn't seem to be a good enough reason for anyone to vote for her. Paul really does come and stop the discussions at the wrong time. I wanted to hear their reactions to Jackie's revelation about her being a clairvoyant. Jackie hiding being a clairvoyant did later contribute to a couple of votes against her. There were votes for Brittany, Jane and Noel, but it ended up being a tied vote between Jackie and Molly with 5 votes each. Molly's defense of that she would come out with what she was thinking didn't marry with what the others have been saying about her, that she's been too quiet and she only talked at the roundtable when prompted. The episode leaves us with a cliffhanger, with everyone but Jackie and Molly re-voting. still tied with one more vote to go. What was interesting to see was that both Jane and Mike voted for Jackie in the re-vote, having voted for others in the first one, using this as the opportunity to pull off their plan to use Jackie as bait. In fact, Jane had initially voted for Molly but changed to Jackie on the re-vote. The second most interesting part is that the person whose vote is still yet to be cast, that can break the tie to either banish a faithful or a traitor, is Whitney. We shall see in episode 4 who Whitney voted for.